Good afternoon. It's 15 June. Thought it was time for a little update. Bust out the computer here and update you guys on some things. You know, there's been thousands of views on my shows from, end of April, 1st of May there on the corruption shows, on the sheriff and Sandestin and what the BCC knows. And literally thousands of people have watched it. And here's what you should know if you watched that and you sat around and you thought, well, gosh, look at all the people that watched it. I wonder what's happening with that. And so I want to update you on your faith in law enforcement and the system. All those shows, all that evidence, not a single person called me and said, can we see that? As far as I know, it was reported to Crime Stoppers. It was sent to all the law enforcement people in Walton County and not one response, not a single denial. Everybody just sat there like a silent but deadly fart had just drifted up through the church aisle during a wedding. Everybody wanted to giggle or they want to be shocked. But you as a citizen should have no faith in the system that somebody borrowing literally possibly $500 million has falsified documents from the county and law enforcement won't look into it. Not the state, not the feds, not even people will stand up and go, hey. So just know, of all the accusations I've made, he's not denied one of them, have you? You haven't produced an investigation. The state attorney's office hasn't answered. You haven't denied you changed the job description for an unqualified guy. We got problems in this county. There's a big one right there. And it still seems that this is your legislative liaison. This is BS. And it's all because he allows it. And it's all because they want it covered up. It's just not right. They created the job of legislative liaison for Scott, but who created it? How did it get advertised? What was the interview criteria? And how can y'all claim you can't be involved in everyday business if you can create a job, advertise or not advertise a job, and who hired him based on what goals? I mean, isn't it just giving him a job because Trey Nick's leaving and he can't have an accountable job? Isn't that the same thing that you said you could not do? And wasn't Larry and them accused of wrongdoing in front of a grand jury for doing just what you just did? You created a job for somebody because they were leaving. I just don't believe that, anybody with ethics violations like he's had should just get a job because he's your friends. He's Trey's aide, one of Boots's mentors growing up. Danny would lick him right between the cheeks just to keep his head down and not have to deal with anything controversial. Barker's just a shit bag, and I don't think Tony wanted to do this. And Tony's only one, honestly, that's openly said that he thought Atkins was conflicted. So those are some updates at mid-June. They've given Scott a job to represent you, Walton County, I guess as a legislative liaison, because God knows we want somebody with ethics complaints and the issues he's had going up there to talk to people in Tallahassee on our behalf. I don't know. Some of the races, Donna Johns, it looks like, hey, y'all better pay attention. Some of y'all getting data mined out there better show this video. Chaz Galloway's behind half those websites, Walton Voters, election information, and here he is running for office. And he seems to be out there just running this, but it doesn't, those are like paid advertisement, but they don't say by Chaz Galloway for county commissioner. But isn't that the same thing without the correct designations? Don't fall for his BS. If you're a Republican and you're supporting Jazz Galloway, you better look and see how he got his start with the 38 Democrats. Rauschkolb and Uhlfielder are the ones that have embarrassed the fool out of this county and wasted millions on stuff that was ridiculous in an attempt to twist the way the truth works in Walton County. Uhlfielder is a national embarrassment for the state of Florida that anybody knows he's from here. Chaz was involved in those Grim Reaper ads and streaking down the beach. So if you haven't seen that on other sites, and him wearing a wig and blah, blah, blah. And just a year or two ago, he was out there with me and Dan Cosin saying, look, the county's doing wrong. The county's doing wrong. They won't enforce the environment. He gets a county job, data mines, and now he's running for your commissioner. Really? Man, I don't get it. Vote Donna Johns. New into the race, Cindy Meadows is coming into the race and experience. She's the only one that really ever stood up for much south of the Bay for years. And they handed her ass by making all these lies about her in the next, in a race in the past. And so she'd had enough of being attacked, but she's had enough of this county being attacked, and I'm glad to see her name back in the hat. Danny LIEDWELL did not deserve to run unopposed, and I'll be running some special shows about all the things that Danny knew about and what he said he would do if he got put in office and who he told that to and what he didn't do. Danny lied well, and the list is long. And he wants to lie for 4 more years, but we have a say-so. He is a bad choice, and it's time for this umpire to be sent to the showers. Those are the updates on 15 June. Look for those upcoming shows on More BS, but you go back and watch those shows about the $500 million fraud and what the sheriff knew and what the commissioners knew and all the proof and Miss Lee, the Seminole win, which is really just a mouth fart for her. Nobody can refute the stuff that I've said. And why don't they sue me over the Sandestin thing? Why don't those millionaires sue me saying they're compliant? Why don't the county say anything? Is that why I was on the list? And the list came out while these guys sat as commissioner, Danny, and you didn't do nothing. So Danny, a man of law enforcement for years and years, watched a citizen be put on a commissioner, BCC list, and the sheriff's list without due process. And old Danny LIEDWELL was okay with that because it was personal. That's your Walton County update. You can't make shit like this up. It's just impossible. You can't make up fools like this and this and this and this. But we'll talk about them on the Al Osborne Show. Y'all keep them straight out there. You hear? Talk to you soon.